Smile. Breathe. And just remember, it's too late to get out of it, so you might as well go on.
Do you ever get the feeling that people are incapable of not caring?
You know, I'm screwed up and average enough that I could write a song that'll live on forever. And then after that, it don't matter. I am the king of gay chickens.
No, seriously, what the fuck?
Honestly, you're in a memory in your subconscious.
Fuck! Seriously?
I don't know what you've been told, little lady, but the rest of us start at 9. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Good morning.
Hey, Benny! Looks to me like you're on the wrong side of the river!
Is it gonna be like this all the time?
You looking forward to the new Hunger Games?
No, not in the slightest.
Younger Games?
Yeah, it looks like crap.
Yeah, there's nothing really.
I don't know
Pulling
why
me
it
in.
exists. And also, if you're gonna spin off that world and tell other stories, why would you pick the bad guy from the fucking first ones to try and make like, hey, this is him young and naive but you know he's a troubled guy. Like, no, fuck that.
Yeah, it's young Stanley Tucci, isn't it?
No, it's young President Snow. It's young fucking Sutherland.
Oh right, but yeah,
The bad guy.
but young Tucci is in it though, isn't it? Isn't Schwartzman young Tucci?
I hope young Tucci's in it. That's
he's
great.
Tucci's dad.
Because that would be great.
Young
Stanley
Snow.
Tucci's a good character. Like he's not he's not evil. He's
Who
just
plays
there.
young Snow?
Some fucking teen heartthrob, I guess.
I tried googling Younger Games to see if it would come up as a joke, but it didn't.
Nice.
Oh well.
That's the epic movie or scary movie version of this.
I didn't realize that its entire title of the new Hunger Games
It's massive.
is massive. It's The Hunger Games, The Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes. And when I was looking at movie times the other day, I just scrolled down to where just the last word was visible. So I thought there were like 15 showings of a movie called Snakes. And I was like, hell yeah.
Snakes.
I'm go at Snakes.
Snakes.
Are they on a plane? Don't you fucking worry about it, mate. Just come see. It's Snakes.
Snakes.
And you know who's starring in Snakes?
Denzel.
Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler would be in a movie.
Didn't he
called
just do a
Snakes.
movie called Plane?
He did do a movie called Plane, and it's fucking shit.
I bet it is.
It was. I had fun, but it's shit.
They looked it up. They looked at Gerard Butler's previous movies. They're like, we need to make it dumber. How?
Just one word titles.
We
that don't
need to
mean
make
anything.
We need to make this so easy for people to get what it's about.
Like the movie Taken. That's a one-word title. But it
Yeah.
explains the movie. Someone's taken, he's got to get her back. That
Yeah,
makes sense.
but it's like,
This movie is called Plane.
what is it? It's not a verb.
Taken.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not- I'm
it's
not
kind
go-
of, it's
I know-
it's an adjective.
I know-
It's a describing
Is it an
word.
adjective?
No, I don't think so.
I know. I like my knowledge of English
Adverb,
grammar.
I guess.
I do. I've published quite a lot of writing, but there's noun, adjective, verb is a doing. What's an adverb?
No,
Gun-
no.
gun to my
actually,
head.
No, actually, no one knows. You know,
Gun to my head, couldn't tell you without looking
Yeah,
it up.
historians say that the meaning of adverb was lost several centuries ago.
Yeah, and now it's just we just hear echoes of former ages when people could refer to adverbs in conversation, and that was a different age and a stronger age. When,
The golden age.
yeah, before the age of snakes or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch that movie.
Plane or
Well, no,
Younger
I've seen
Games?
Plane.
You saw
It's
Plane?
shit. But I'm not going to watch the new Hunger
This is my new movie, Guns.
No, Gun. It's just Gun.
Gun.
It's about a kid who gets access to a gun.
Double N, so it's someone's name?
Or it's,
no.
it's the movie $20, but instead of it being $20, it's just a gun. It's just passed around
It's just
between
called
people.
Buck. It's called Dollar.
Bullet. It's used once.
Yeah.
Actually, the movie Bullet is very good.
This is the start of my nouns trilogy. I'm going to do a series of films based around different nouns.
The three nouns.
The three nouns.
Yeah, because it's a trilogy. The three. You choose three nouns.
Yeah, we're doing plane, wheel, and cup.
So Plane started it. Oh, it's a great start. You're off to a fantastic start.
Seen any good movies lately?
I saw playing.
Actually, I'll tell you what, before we even get into that, we got news.
I love news.
We got news. We got Craig news. Well, it's not really Craig news. Craig news is, going back to our Daniel Craig days, he wears glasses quite a lot now.
Cool.
I think he seems to be like a glasses wearing kind of guy.
That's okay.
He's still out filming that movie Queer, based on the novel Queer by William S. Burroughs. And he's got a weird sort of serial killer haircut and glasses combo going on, which he seems to be sticking with. Obviously, he looks great in it. And so you don't want to see Casino Royale in concert? You don't want to pay over $100 to go to our local orchestral hall
Yeah.
and hear a live orchestra play the music of Casino Royale?
I don't think Casino Royale isn't a film I watch and love because of the soundtrack. Well, sorry, not the soundtrack. The soundtrack's great. The score isn't the reason I love Casino Royale. It's one of them, but it's not the thing. Like Lord of the Rings, you love it for many things, but the score is what makes it so
And it's in it the
fantastic.
whole time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas
This is
Casino Royale it's a spy movie.
Yeah.
It comes and it goes, and
I
it's,
can imagine them do it. Like I've seen them do this for 2001: A Space Odyssey.
That would be a
as
thing.
well. What else is there? Done it for a lot of them, like Indiana Jones, probably.
Yeah, but Indiana
has
Jones
it.
is also a thing. Like that's a motif.
Yeah.
Whereas
Casino Royale, there's one bit that I would love to hear the orchestra play, and it's the last few seconds of the movie, quite famously. And yeah, I guess if I'm honest, I can't call to mind any of the other music throughout it.
except the James Bond theme.
But no, but they don't play it till the end.
Well, no, yeah, exactly.
That's the end of the film. The rest of it's just sort of moody tones, I think.
It's like watching an episode of CSI Live.
Yeah. Please. Yes, please. But I kind of felt like it's kind of Craigtant. Do I have to go because it's Craigtant? You know?
It is, but you don't have to go because you've seen that movie already.
Yeah.
Therefore, you've
But
already
never in
listened
that
to that score.
never in that way.
Never
Well,
in this life.
Something to think about. It's nearly sold out.
That's kind of cool. Good
And
for
it's,
them.
and it's
Good
in
for
like,
them.
It's in like March of next year. Good for them. Thwaites news.
Uh-huh.
A little bit of Thwaites news about the Prince of Film, Brenton Thwaites. Do you know the song "How to Make Gravy"?
Yes. I was about to say everybody
Everyone-
knows that because they should. It is a Christmas song by Paul Kelly.
Yeah,
Everybody loves that
and
song.
I'd heard.
It is depressing
I'd-
and long.
What's it about?
It's about a dude in prison
Okay.
who's writing a letter home, just being like, "Who's going to make the gravy for Christmas? I hope you guys have a good Christmas.
Oh yeah,
Who's
that's
going to make
right.
the gravy?" Sad.
Because
and
the
they're
guy
making a film.
because the guy in prison used to make gravy.
He used to make the gravy, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He always made the gravy.
They're not making a film, Isaac. They've just wrapped on filming a film, and can you guess who's in it?
Is Brenton in How to Make Gravy?
Brenton Thwaites.
Good man.
Is in How to Make Gravy. Upcoming Christmas. I now think not coming out till next Christmas
Yeah, I don't think it's not going to get released.
because they have it. But
for a
yeah,
while.
we're gonna get it on binge. But yeah, you got Thwaites. You got Weaving. You got Herriman. You know Damon Herriman.
Damon.
Yeah, I think I know that guy.
Justin Harriman.
No, this is Herriman.
Okay.
Yeah, he's in like Game of Thrones and stuff.
Yep, sure. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and he plays Charles Manson and everything. Actually did know from that. You got
In everything.
he does. He plays Charles Manson in Mindhunters and in
Because he's a very good
Once Upon a
caster.
Time in Hollywood. And you've got Henschel. You got Daniel Henschel, the killer from Snowtown.
Cool.
And you got other people whose names I don't recognize, but I'm sure are great as well. So that's exciting. Want to make sure we get Titan Season 4 out of the way so we're clear for that. And yeah, and new bloody... What's his name? Brendan Fraser. New- You know that guy?
What are we fucking doing?
Hello, everyone.
are we
Welcome
even
to
fucking
Exceptional
doing?
Thieves. This is a podcast where Isaac and I review and rewrite movies. I'm Sam.
I'm Isaac.
And this is the latest episode in our special series, Turns of Frase, where we are watching and reviewing the entire filmography of the one and only Brendan Fraser,
Who the fuck is that?
who we never forget,
Yeah, of course.
the king of film. And he's done a cheeky little audio drama.
Cheeky little...
A cheeky little...
Cheeky
Ooh.
little audio drama.
He's just snuck in a...
Cheeky. You naughty boy.
It's available on Audible, but it's not an audiobook. It's like it's written for Audible, so it's radio.
It's an audio drama.
We're making a bold return to radio.
There's a lot of those from Doctor Who. David Tennant has played the Doctor many more times than
I
you've
bet he
seen.
has. You cannot
You
get
can
him.
listen to him play the Doctor so many times.
You couldn't pay David Tennant to stop doing Doctor Who stuff.
And why would you?
He's coming. He's back on the screens
He's perfect.
in like a month's time.
He's just a cool guy.
I love a radio drama.
Me too.
Can I just say? I haven't been into them for a while, but when I was a kid
Mm-hmm.
and I would like listen to tapes and audio stuff when I was going to sleep a bit more, love that stuff.
One of my favorite experiences in live
Atmospheric
theatre
sounds,
was
yeah.
performing a radio play. Because you have your Foley desk and everyone, there's people there just making the sound
You
effects.
performed a radio play
I
like
performed in a radio play.
Killers of the Flower Moon style.
Yes, it was exactly like that, but shit. It was the most fun.
Well, I didn't think theirs was great. I mean, you know, they were doing a fine job, but I wasn't
did a
like
fine
mind blown by the wizardry of
I
their
just love
performance.
radio. It's just such a cool thing to like. You can go and you watch it, or you can go and just shut your eyes and listen,
Yeah.
or tune in. I just love the idea of a Foley desk.
I wouldn't want to watch a radio play
But
live.
you can see that guy just doing the footsteps.
But
Just
no,
that
but
one
I-
dude with the shoes on the piece of timber, just doing the footsteps.
But I want to
into
be
the
able
little
to-
bucket of gravel. Oh, they're outside. Oh my god.
But I want to be carried away by the magic of the sounds, and I can't do that when I'm watching Mr. Foley.
Yeah, but someone's at the back of the stage waiting, slams the door, or like, it's like, oh,
I
so cool,
still
so cool.
cannot get over the fact that just the way they have to make every sound for film and TV. The fact
A
that,
lot of sounds.
The fact
yeah,
that they
yeah.
get nothing from set. Apparently, they can't record.
They get a lot from
Nah,
set.
nah,
but
mate.
You can
nah.
add
They
to
can't. They can't record. Apparently, the closing of a door, the picking up of a piece of paper. They can't. The clicking of a mouse. Everything is done. Well, if you listen to Foley artists, they would have you believe. Like,
and they are
nothing.
entitled to have you believe that.
Nothing is nothing, and I just feel like you could get some of it. You could get some
You
of
can
it.
get a lot of it. But Foley is just cool.
They're like,
I love
no.
watching them do that.
The only way we can do this gunfight is if I walk on these magazines dressed as a bush, and then I slap this horse,
Oh, so I sound so good.
and then I'm going to climb inside this bell and dance around,
I
and
also
that's
love
how we did the
videos
Titanic.
inside Foley artists like warehouses and stuff, and it's just random shit everywhere. Like it is a junk shop, and that's so cool.
That is
and these
cool.
people are getting paid copious amounts of money to just like
Yeah,
knock a pen against a piece of glass.
yeah. I don't know if it's copious,
Copious,
but it's probably.
it's copious. It's just a
Nah.
good word to say.
I'd say they're getting paid the absolute minimum the studio has to pay them to avoid industrial action,
to avoid another strike.
is what I would be saying. But anyway, Brendan is in the Downloaded, a radio drama in 2059. Two vastly different groups of people portrayed by the compelling trio of Brendan Fraser, brackets Academy Award winner, you better bloody believe it, mate. Luke Kirby, brackets Emmy Award winner, who's that? And Vanessa Sears, brackets Dora Award winner.
Nice.
Good on you, Vanessa. I'm not going to lie, I haven't heard of those awards, but I'm sure you did great as well.
I reckon Dora Awards are awarded by the animated character Dora.
Yeah. Just her top 10 for the
Top
year.
10 for the year, yeah.
Yeah. Undergo cryonic suspension. While their bodies are frozen, their minds, still active and awake, are uploaded into a massive quantum computer.
Holy shit.
The first group are all astronauts about to leave Earth on a one-way interstellar colonization mission. The second group consists of convicted murderers and volunteers who elect to serve their sentences in a virtual reality prison.
So,
And they
from
put
when
them-
I read that,
Yeah.
it sounded like the first group had 3 people, and the second group had 3 people voiced by the same 3 people.
All right. Nah.
That's what it sounds like. These
And they,
different groups of people voiced by
so
this one, this
Brendan
one, and this
Fraser
one.
is like, I'm going to colonize Mars, and then he's like, hello, I'm a murderer. I'm a different bloke.
Yeah, it's an audio drama. You couldn't tell.
No.
The accent's going to be so
All the
different.
murderers are played by Bob Hoskins. Is he alive? I think so. Anyway, but while both groups are suspended, a global cataclysm devastates most of the Earth, and their cryosleep is extended by more than 500 years. This sounds sick.
Yeah, it does. It sounds so cool.
It does time.
It sounds like Futurama, but like dramatic.
Yeah.
Not that Futurama wasn't dramatic. If you've seen the episode with his dog, it's very depressing.
Time to fire up the free 30-day trial
Of Audible.
of Audible. I recognise the name Luke Kirby. Nah. Don't know
You
who that is.
recognize the name Vanessa Kirby.
That's what I'm. That's probably is what I'm recognising. Do you think she's going to be Sue Storm?
I don't know.
It's all over the internet at the moment that Pedro Pascal's going to be the
Mr.
main
Fantastic.
one. Yeah.
I don't want him to be Mr.
No, it
Fantastic.
doesn't work for me.
I would want if anyone, like if anything, I would want Pedro Pascal to be
The Thing?
He'd be really cool as a Thing, but like
'Cause he'd
to
be
be
sort
a
of
bad
lovable.
guy because he's so lovable. He'd be such a fun bad guy.
Yeah. I think I've personally kind of. Maybe it's because I just wasn't a big fan of The Last of Us, but I've personally kind of reached kind of Pedro Pascal's saturation point, as lovely as he is. Mm-hmm. And if
You
he's
just need a break for a little bit.
yes,
just a little
and
bit.
I don't think he slots into that role particularly well.
No, he's not
seems-
not nerdy enough.
He seems like a lovely guy. Doesn't seem like a genius.
He's got dad energy. He doesn't have genius energy.
and you got to have both.
Yes, you do have to have both.
And he
And like
does not. He
John
comes.
Krasinski has both.
John Krasinski does, doesn't he?
He's got, but like he doesn't need to be the MCU's
For all his
Mr.
flaws.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Like if they don't want to go down that route,
But
that's fine.
Yeah.
But he is kind of fucking perfect,
Yeah.
and that's great. There are other options, but at the moment, John Krasinski is fantastic.
Yeah. It's not Pedro,
No,
but it's going to be in it.
I mean it doesn't have to be.
You finished Loki?
I did finish Loki.
I haven't finished it yet. I'm just so unmotivated.
I'm not going to spoil it, but the last episode, after I watched it, I went on YouTube to look at people explaining it, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's the best episode ever!
I keep
it's
seeing
so
that stuff.
good.
Yeah.
They do so much." I'd watch this thing, and I'm like,
They're like, the end
There's this
justifies the whole
badass-
thing.
There's this cool montage of him doing something right at the end there, which builds to a certain thing, and it's supposed to feel real important. It's like not.
Yeah.
And I love Tom Hiddleston, and like his Loki has been so much fun.
For you to fuck up Tom Hiddleston as Loki, wearing that little shirt and tie, doing cool stuff with Owen Wilson, for you to fuck that up,
Yeah. Why would you fuck
it's
that up?
harder to fuck it up than do it right, I would have thought. But yeah.
One thing I will give the second season of Loki is that Ke Huy Quan is in it a lot.
He is, isn't he?
When he was in the posters and the trailer and stuff, I'm like, oh, he's only going to be in it really small. Like, he's
Yeah.
just kind of small. He's in every episode
Yeah.
all the time. It's fantastic.
Didn't need to be.
Didn't need to be.
His character does punishingly little.
But I love that he's there a lot. He's cool. Cool dude.
Did you see the Marvels?
I did watch The Marvels. Watched it over the weekend.
What do you?
Can recommend.
Oh yeah.
Was quite fun.
I don't think I'm gonna see it.
You don't have to. A lot of people aren't seeing it.
Yeah.
And apparently someone, like a lot of people have said it's shit. It's not shit. It's quite fun.
Yeah.
It's a little bit lame, but it is quite fun. It is nowhere near as bad. It is not even on the same playing field as Quantumania. Like Quantumania is shit because it's not a good movie.
Yeah,
the Marvels
it was shit.
The Marvels has moments of like, this is quite lame.
Okay, but it's not. It's lame, but it's not shit.
It's not shit.
Okay.
It's not shit.
Well, that's a shame because
Yay for
it's
Marvel.
it's gonna lose a lot of money, isn't it?
It is gonna lose so much.
It's gonna lose so much money. But have you seen any other good movies lately?
No.
No.
Like,
Damn.
I'm watching a lot of like old Christmas movies again. And I watched Hot Fuzz like 4 times in the last month.
Okay.
But you got to.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. You got to keep your quota up.
You do.
I see how you're filling all your. I see how you're running out of time to watch anything else.
I have started watching my annual period of Christmas movies and Christmas horror movies.
Yeah. Emma's been trying to get going on it, and I've been weirdly resistant to it this year, just because I'm gonna do it, but it just hasn't felt ready yet.
Okay.
But I think now we're getting to mid-November. I think we can really kick into gear.
My house has
Finally,
been decorated for weeks,
yeah.
but that's fine.
Nah, start of December for me.
Okay.
I think, or next week sometime maybe.
Famously, that's not the start of December.
No, but it's close enough.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, I'm not being, ironically, I'm not religious about it. I just,
It'll happen at some point.
It just doesn't feel
but it's
con-
just not going to happen at the
Normally-
start of November. It's a little too early. Okay, we've just had Halloween. You got to come down. You got to come down.
I'm still on the come
After
down
such
from
a
Halloween. Yeah.
After such a high from trick or treating.
Did you see any other good scary movies? No. I'm so
I
excited for
watched
They
The Pope's
Follow.
Exorcist. Actually,
Oh yeah,
it's fucking horrible.
Pope's Exorcist.
It's so
Fuck
shit. It's like laughably bad.
Isn't Russell Crowe in that?
Yeah, he's the Pope's exorcist.
Is he doing like a little Italian accent the whole
He's
time?
got an accent. He's got an accent,
In nomine Patris.
but it's not an Italian accent. It's just an accent. It's great. He speaks Italian and Spanish for parts of the film, which is cool.
Russell,
But
what are you?
there's a sequel. They've greenlit a sequel. It's happening. It's happening. It's going to be a thing.
I guess it must have
Pope's
made enough money.
Exorcist.
Oh well. I didn't really. I'm so excited for They Follow.
Yeah, me too.
Finally, we're getting a new It Follows. Same creative team. It's going to be great, but that's a while off. I haven't actually finished it, but I finally started watching Underwater
Oh, cool.
with Kirsten Stewart. Yeah. Love.
You haven't finished it.
No, I just ran out of time, and then I realized. Do you ever stop watching a movie, and then days later you're like, oh shit, I never actually
I have done that, yeah.
finished it. But I mean,
It's-
not really spoiler alert because this happens right at the start of the movie. But I love the structure of that movie where a normal standard structure, you meet all the characters, character arriving on the base, you go all the way down, so you see how low it is. You are implicitly told different things about the base, so you learn the geography and the structure and what the stakes are and what the possible escape routes are and what might go wrong, and then something goes wrong in the end of the first act. This movie's like, hey, look, it's Kirsten Stewart. Remember her? Boom! And then just everything explodes, and you're just immediately in it, and you've no idea who anyone. So
It's
you
so
meet
good.
characters in the midst of the disaster as it goes along, and you're learning about the architecture as it goes along. And yeah, fresh and different and cool.
It is cool. And
I like
I was
that.
sad that it didn't get any sort of recognition
no one
or
cared
following
about it.
or gives a shit.
I like the
Where
theory.
are you up to?
I think I'm just a bit past halfway.
All right, cool. When you're finished, we'll talk about it because I do love the ending.
I like the theory that it's set in the Cloverfield universe.
Nice theory.
Yeah, there's multiple movies that people fan cast as being Cloverfield movies. Much better than the canon Cloverfield movies, I would say. Finally watched Super Mario Bros.
Nice.
That popped up on Netflix.
And
Because I'm in a big Mario phase at the moment,
Yes,
getting
you
back
are.
into the N64.
What'd you think of Mario?
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah, it's fun, right?
Yeah, coming pretty fresh off the Lego movies, you did feel the kind of it's a much thinner plot and emotionally, Lego,
I give it.
funnily enough, manages to get to
The first
a
Lego
degree of
movie, I think.
complexity and maturity in terms of what's happening in the storyline. That's actually quite impressive. Whereas this is just we're just trying to rescue Luigi. Okay, don't fucking worry about it. Bowser's coming. Let's fucking go. And you're like, okay, whatever. And it's all fun and fine. And you know what? A crisp 90 minutes.
Yeah.
We're not fucking around.
And it's not bad. There are some good jokes.
Yeah.
It's some fun stuff.
Koopas, Goombas, whatever
the hell-
those things are. Oh. Yeah, shit like that. Yeah. Yeah, I thought I did a really good job of... Because it's interestingly, the Mario universe, for all of the different Mario games, it's quite famously thin on world building of exactly...
There's no geography.
It's not laid out.
explained, Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's geography in the maps of games,
Yeah.
but
Where
everything changes.
where Donkey
constantly.
Kong stuff is, and there's
Yeah,
no
how Donkey Kong fits into the Mario
yeah,
world.
the lore and mythology of the Mario world is intentionally just not the focus, and don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So they had to put a bit of work in to figure out a way for this all to fit together.
And I think they do that quite well.
I think they do it quite well.
Yeah.
So can recommend. Chris Pratt, what are you doing, mate? Now you're Garfield? Do you want to like be in movies?
What?
Yeah, the trailer's out for the new Garfield movie with Chris
a new
Pratt.
Garfield movie.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
and it doesn't look the worst.
But Bill
Not that
Murray
I'm going to see it.
is Garfield.
Yeah,
That's his favorite
See,
movie that he ever made.
this is exactly the conversation we were having about how none of the Marvel Chris's can just have a normal movie career. Like Chris Pratt should be out there just having Chris Pratt movies. Instead, he's just being Super Mario, Garfield, and the little Lego fella. And now that Guardians is over and Jurassic World is over, what is he going to do?
I'm looking at the poster. Okay, it's an animated film. I like that.
Yeah, it's fully
I
animated.
like that it's fully animated.
Yeah.
Because if it was just Garfield again.
Were you a Calvin and Hobbes person?
No, I have read Calvin Hobbes and I do not like Calvin and Hobbes, but as a child has not been part of my life.
Okay, don't worry about it then.
Is there a Calvin and Hobbes movie?
No. Bill Watson refused all licensing.
Nice.
There's never been any formal, like allowed Calvin and Hobbes merchandise
Cool.
the entire time. But
So
no,
every shirt you own that says Calvin and Hobbes is legal.
yeah, I just wrote that on there myself with a texter.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah, but no, he's got a new weird little book coming out.
Okay.
It's the first thing he's published since Calvin and Hobbes finished in 1995 or something.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway,
Living off that high for a while.
yeah, I watched Pain Hustlers.
Okay.
Yeah,
Was it good?
you know,
Has that got Timberlake in it, or is it? No, that's Evans, isn't it?
It's Evans.
Yeah.
Evans, Blunt.
Yeah. People.
The Australian one, who's in Ocean's 11, the baddie.
The bad guy
Okay,
in Ocean's
fine.
11 is Andy Garcia.
Oh yeah, who am I confusing Andy Garcia with? I'm gonna find it. Hang on.
Give me another movie that he's in.
Anthony LaPaglia. That's who I'm confusing him with.
okay.
No, yeah, Andy Garcia. You got Garcia.
Andy Garcia is in the new Expendables movie, which I haven't seen yet. But when I
Expendables.
saw the trailer for that, you know how those trailers, like, famously, just have the surnames of everyone come up? Like, Stallone, like, etc. Garcia came up. I'm like,
Yeah.
he's not an
Who's-
action star.
Who's Garcia?
He's just a dude. He does movies. That's great. Garcia.
I was on a flight the other day,
Okay.
and this fucking older gentleman
Oh, shit.
pulls as we've taken off,
Mhm.
tray table down, pulls his phone out, pulls a movie up on a web browser, which I found distressing. Is somehow watching Expendables on a web browser. Just presses play.
No headphones?
No headphones, no nothing.
Oh, cool. What a guy.
And I give him a minute. Maybe he's going to realize his mistake. Maybe. And then just as the explosions keep going, I was like, it's my responsibility. I've got to do something. And I just look over. He sees me looks up and is like, too loud? I'm like, yeah, sorry, mate. Like, oh, sorry. I'll bring headphones next time. Yeah, that'd be great. You can't just watch Expendables on the plane.
Why not? You couldn't hear any other film. Because there's just the constant of a plane drowns out dialogue, so you have to watch something with explosions.
Yeah, but yeah,
so you know what's going on.
and you could, and all you could hear with the explosions as well, sitting next to him, and you couldn't not hear it.
He just puts the subtitles on and mutes it.
Yeah, just put on The Good
that's
Wife with
good.
subtitles. That's what you do there. But Pain Hustlers is a fucking weird movie. It wasn't the worst, but it's just it's because it's about a fake drug.
Mhm.
They develop a fake drug, which is basically like fentanyl,
Mhm.
and then they get really rich, and then everyone's
Is
like,
it based on a true story?
well, that's the thing. It's not.
Okay.
It's just based on a novel that is about what is now a tale as old as time
Pharmaceuticals. Big pharma.
of big pharmaceutical companies corrupting the medical process and getting people addicted to medications and then causing widespread pain and suffering out of their greed, basically. So it's just a weird story to write a fantasy version of something that, like, multiple worthwhile movies and TV shows have been made about the real life stories of what happened here.
And there are true stories
And this
that
doesn't
should
really,
to be told.
yeah, and this doesn't really contribute anything to it, except it builds in the fantasy. Spoiler alert for Pain Hustlers, builds in the fantasy element at the end that some of the pharmaceutical executives go to jail because of the whistleblower character in the movie.
Look at that.
I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure that's never actually happened in real life. So it's weird to give a depiction of this incredibly serious thing in a fantasy version where something better
Where
happened.
comeuppance
Yeah,
takes
it's
place.
like Inglourious Bastards, but for Big Pharma. So that was a weird one. I watched Yesterday.
Oh, had you not seen Yesterday?
I ain't seen Yesterday.
Oh, dude, I love Yesterday.
Man,
Yesterday is one of my happy feel movies.
It's
just a happy feel.
I was emotional for a bunch of reasons already. I was more on the edge than I thought I was.
That day, you cried for Yesterday? Did you have a bit of a cry?
And he knocks on the door, and little old John Lennon opens the door, and he says hello to him. And I just burst into tears. Something about seeing old still alive. Yesterday is a movie where a guy like slips between realities and he wakes up in a universe where where the Beatles never existed, but he remembers the Beatles and he's a musician, so he becomes famous playing the Beatles music. If anyone doesn't know what we're talking about with Yesterday,
It's a fantastic movie. Recommend.
I'm watching Yesterday. I'm like, why is this so good? And then like, oh, it's written by Richard Curtis and directed by Danny Boyle. That'll do it. That's what we call in the industry a winning formula. And Robert Carlyle as little old John Lennon, who's 80 years old but happy and was never famous, but has just lived an okay life.
Good.
Oh, really, really got to me in ways that I'm still
I
reflecting
also
on.
love just the scene of him there with John Lennon. You're weird, mate. You're a weird guy.
Yeah,
You need serious psychiatric help.
yeah.
Not
But
anymore.
It got to me something about the parasocial relationship you can have with famous people. I think this is all swirling around for me with like the death of Matthew Perry recently as well, which got to me a lot because he was my one of the friends. Like if I was going to be any one of them, I'd be Chandler. And just when he says like, "Oh, it's so good to see you," to John Lennon, which you would say to someone like you know them. You know, like, oh, it's so good to see you again. Because I used to see you all the time. You didn't know I was seeing you.
I've watched
You didn't know I was
from
there.
my palm
But I've watched
a lot of times.
Yeah, I've watched you while lying in bed for most of my life in a weird way. Yeah. So yeah, can recommend. And then I watched The Killer.
I have not yet watched The Killer, but
Okay.
I am.
Okay.
I
Well,
will
I'll hold
watch
off.
The Killer. We'll talk about that.
Talk
next
about it
time.
once you've seen it. I don't want to bias your take on it. The new Fincher-tastic movie.
Yeah. Is it on par with Seven?
No.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah, no. If Seven's a 7 out of 7, this is a less than that. For me. And I'm just speaking for me. But we're not here today to talk about movies by David Fincher or, Danny Boyle or starring the fantastic voice of Chris Pratt. Now we only get the voice, never the face anymore.
Mm-hmm. It's so he doesn't have to work out all the time.
Yeah.
He's like, I can still do this,
I mean,
but I
fair
can
enough.
eat pizza? Yes.
Yeah, or lasagna, more to the point. We're here to talk about Kids in the Hall, brain. We don't do it on purpose, but it's always half an hour when we start talking about, like...
Hi, everybody.
It's always half an hour.
That's why you put that timestamp at the start. Just like skip half an hour. Guys.
I honest to God haven't looked at the time until now, but it's always half an hour. We're talking about Kids in the Hall, Brain Candy, a 1996 Canadian comedy film written by and starring the Canadian comedy troupe, The Kids in the Hall.
First question.
Yeah.
You're making a comedy troupe, right? You're making one.
I'm making a troupe.
Yeah, if you it's in the 90s.
Comedy
You're
troupe.
starting a comedy troupe, having a great time.
One of the few kind of troupes still going.
Why the fuck do you call it The Kids in the Hall?
The Kids in the Hall name, I can tell you the origin of the name because I
it's a shit name.
was reading. It comes from a reference someone made. Where did I find it? on some sort of comedy show or something, the host would, if a joke didn't work, the host would say, "Oh, that was written by the kids in the hall," referring to a group of young writers they had working in the back.
Cool.
So the kids in the
That
hall are
makes
like the
sense.
new young writers on a comedy show. So they're like the young whippersnappers, the up and comers. So I mean,
And boy, did they come up.
yes, and these lads have kind of kept going.
The main character, as soon as I saw him, I'm like, I know your face and your voice is very familiar because of Lilo and Stitch. He voices an alien in Lilo and Stitch.
Oh wow, okay.
And that, because his voice is so piercing, that is what all I will remember that voice for.
Yeah, wow, okay.
So that's the only thing I've known any of these people from.
Well, it's nice to have a legacy.
Yes.
So the Kids in the Hall sketch show, the eponymous television show, ran from 1989 to 1995 on CBC, Canada. All this stuff sounds so lame. And also appeared on HBO and Comedy Central. Then they made this movie, Brain Candy, in 1996. They reformed for various tours and comedy festivals in 2000. They later reunited for an 8-part miniseries in January 2010. And an 8-episode revival season was released on Amazon Prime Video in 2022.
Jesus.
So there's new, fresh Kids in the Hall from last year.
Fuck.
But this is the only movie they've made. And it was...
I'm glad.
And now it wasn't a commercial success. But can you guess what it has become?
A cult classic?
It's become a cult classic, you better believe it. Like every...
Oh, yeah.
Like
every film that didn't make money 20 years ago.
But some
It's a
people
cult
still
classic.
remember. It's a cult classic amongst its devoted cult-like following of fans.
10 people. 10 people can be a cult.
10 people can be a cult.
There you go.
Great new cult documentary out on Netflix called about the Twin Flames universe. Check it out. Fantastic. I watch them as soon as they come out.
You love cults.
Love cults.
But you don't want to start one.
Don't want to start one.
Do you want to
But
be
I
in one?
would-
Do you want
I-
to escape one?
I'd love to escape one. Okay. I would love to be in a situation where a cult just starts developing around me, and I'm the only one who can see it for what it is. But I've just watched so many cult docs. Like, there's no way you'd get me. There's no way. But I'd play along for a little while, and then just pick the right moment to just fucking rip the place apart. I would love it. But I'm just not social enough
Yeah, we're not in
to
those
end up in that
circles.
situation. But anyway, yeah, it's all the way people do cults now, just over video calls, like especially since COVID.
Oh,
People-
that's just a sad cult.
Like, so the cult isn't even like, you don't have to get everyone in your one compound in the mountains.
Yeah.
You just get everyone on the same video call for 5 hours a day, and you just lock them in and they just don't let them go. And so you're just getting brainwashed for 5 hours in your own room, just over a laptop, and they're just video calls.
That's just sad.
They're like multiple cults have used that sort of methodology now, and it's very interesting. Fuck. Brain Candy.
I hate video calls. I hate them.
That's the barrier to entry for you.
I'm not going to do it. I'll join your cult if you have a big mansion. I'm
You
there.
mean as opposed to an in-person meeting? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, an in-person meeting is like fine, I guess. I don't like people.
Like, do you like phone calls?
Phone calls are fine.
Is that better than a video call?
Fuck yeah.
Why
If
is
it's
that?
one person on the other end, I don't want to talk to 6 people on a phone call.
So then you want a video call?
No, I don't want a video call at all.
You're
I'd
just
rather
never gonna
not
talk
talk
to
to
them.
6 people. I'd
Yeah.
rather see them in person.
Okay. So you'll video call no one. We'll phone call with one person.
Yep.
More than one person has to be physical meetup.
Preferably.
Okay. Well, you are protected from a lot of cults.
Fuck yes.
Safety
is sexy, everyone.
Did you like Brain Candy, Isaac?
No.
Nah.
There
Me
were
neither.
moments of funniness. Moments.
There were moments of
They had
funniness.
some fun jokes, but
Yeah.
the movie is terrible. It's not cool. Like I like the idea.
It's a strong concept.
Strong
I'd say it's a strong concept.
I like the
comedy
idea
movie.
and the premise of your comedy group playing everybody in a movie.
Yeah.
I like that idea, but those movies can only ever be sketch movies. Like your characters
That's the
can't,
thing.
your storylines can't intertwine
Yeah.
by doing that. Like,
Because basically there's Dave Foley, Bruce McCullough, Kevin McDonald, Mark McKinney, Scott Thompson. Those 5 guys play everyone.
yeah,
There's a few very small roles, and there's a lot of characters.
yeah.
and
There's
I-
almost too many.
And I got
characters.
quite confused about who was who because it's all the same actors.
And because when
And they don't
when they're-
look distinct
when each
enough.
of them are dressed as women, they look the same. No matter what the wig is,
yeah.
you look
They
like
play
okay,
all the
you're just
women.
that's that same woman again. She's just got different hair now.
Yeah.
It's not enough of a change, and the accents don't change.
Nah, it's
There's
just
no-
all Canadian.
Yeah, it's very Canadian.
It's very Canadian, eh? And and there's lots of men dressed as women in a way that, like, I think is meant to be funny in and of itself, And
I guess in
there's-
the 90s it may have
I
been.
guess it's in a sort of Mrs. Doubtfire kind of way, and
but even
I don't
even
know. So there's
Mrs.
something kind of
Doubtfire
juvenile about
looked
it.
like a grandma,
Yeah,
and he put an accent on.
he did famously. Yeah, there's bits. I mean, what do you say? There's Brendan's in it for about 20 seconds. He does have a couple of lines. He has more. He does more
his
than I
little
thought
bit
he
of
was going to
dialogue
do.
is probably the best.
The amount he did in it, I felt justified in us watching it. I thought he was just going to, like, he does more in this than he does in bloody in the army now.
Yeah.
I'd say that. He had to put makeup on. He has emotions.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, he acts.
he has an
He has
arc.
a scene. He has a scene. It's
has a
very
scene.
short, but it is a scene.
Yeah, pop it on the heat. Yeah.
Mm.
He has different pitches to his voice during that scene. It's going great.
The first line of the film, when the taxi driver said,
Yeah, so
what
there's
did he say? Because it was like so monotonous.
is he an Italian cab driver?
A foreign cab
I only thought
driver.
Italian because he kept sounding a bit like Mario to me because I got Mario on the brain. Because, like, I'm going to tell you a story about how people find happiness. Oh no, the first thing that happens is the homeless person bangs on his window, and he says, "Show some respect, you homeless piece of shit."
Yes, so that line, you homeless piece of
Which was
shit.
kind of funny in its brutality.
It's funny, but it's also, it made me laugh because it was delivered fucking horribly.
Really
it was
intense.
so bad. And as soon as that happened, I hoped that the whole film was going to be like that.
Yeah.
Because then it would be like The Room, and it's like you get to enjoy this because it's so bad.
Yeah, no, it's not bad enough to
It's
be
not bad enough to
so
be
bad
that.
it's good.
Yeah.
And that person who was homeless, they'd gone so hardcore in the hair and makeup, we thought Link the Caveman was back. So I didn't understand what's going on in this beginning bit. It's like a city, there's lots of lightning. It's all like Gotham coded.
I think that lightning was real, and they just lucked out on the day they were filming.
But there's like interior scenes, so then do they had to add that lighting in later?
Well, no, that opening track shot of the taxi when they came around the corner, either they've built themselves a miniature suburb or like this area,
Yeah.
which is also perfectly fine and doable, but like the
In
lightning
Canada.
looked quite well because like obviously the film quality is not amazing. It looked real enough that they may have just done that shot on an evening and got lightning. And I love to think that was just a lucky accident that they had lightning because it was in the clouds on all the buildings.
Maybe.
And that would be so cool. Like
There's no reason for there to be constant lightning all
There
through
is
this
not.
scene. This scene is like a patchwork of different people being,
It's the introduction to each of the characters in their depressive states.
but it's also, but it's also other people doing other stuff. We see the band and the girl puts a cigarette out on her arm. We pan up to a German nihilistic guy doing a monologue about how meaningless stuff is to his therapist.
We see that therapist
That looks like a
later on, though.
BTS killer. Yeah, but there's no need to introduce that
Yeah.
therapist now. You would be introducing the patient. So I don't know what's
I don't
going
speak
on.
German. That's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah, I guess we do. We do get, so there's gay dad who gets introduced here.
We do meet gay dad.
One of the and he never interacts with any of the other characters. He's just sort of a vignette, I guess you might say, off to the side.
No, he does interact. He's at the lab later on in the movie.
Well, he's in the Happiness Pie
He's
that
in
the
Happiness
Suicide
Pie
Club
song.
sing about. Like, some of this may not make sense to you guys if you haven't seen the movie, but there's a very disgusting Happiness Pie on a green screen that's still green later in the movie.
I think it's supposed to
Like,
be
I don't really have like a take about any of this. I have no like critical comment to make beyond just. But very early on in this, I was like, I don't even know how to really write down what's happening here.
Because it is like a fever dream.
Yeah, there's that van.
Basically, premise of the story is
Yeah, blah, blah,
pharmaceutical
blah.
company.
Dr. Cooper works in a lab and they're working on a medication.
Pharmaceutical company is losing money, so they're cutting back on research. Dr. Cooper says, my pill is ready. It is an antidepressant and it's really good. But it's definitely ready. We don't need more. Well, he's first up. We need more testing, but then it's ready. Let's pump it out. They make millions selling this happy drug
He's pressured by the CEO
of the joint.
And who's the CEO of this company? And what's the company called? Roritor.
What a name. Roratory?
Don Roritor heads Roritor Pharmaceuticals, and I thought he was like he's quite funny. He probably had all the funniest bits in this movie, and he arrives to the CEO headquarters, and everyone's all freaking out. And so, like, this was probably where some of the funniest stuff was in the whole movie. Yeah. Basically, it was like the board is worried. We don't have a Christmas drug. We don't have an International Women's Day drug. And it's like, they take the narrow view that we're losing money. And while that is the narrow view, it is also true that we are in fact losing money.
So I told them to fuck off, and then out loud I said,
"I'd consider it." And so they're desperate for the big new thing, Dr. Cooper. So they've already given the big blue pill to this lady, the first test subject, and we sort of zoom into it. We follow it through her body, sort of Terry Gilliam style, and goes through the synapses of her brain. And so what the drug does is it finds your happiest memory, makes you relive it, and then sort of makes you stay that happy forever.
Yep.
Until eventually your body sort of fuses into a stasis. But that's sort of... Yeah. That's the final act. So I think one of the things that's not connecting is probably the fact that a drug that identifies and brings forward what someone's happiest memory is, and then makes them live their life on that basis, and then prevents them from feeling negative emotion, is a story concept that would lend itself to quite a lot of poignancy and like quite emotional situations, and
could do,
and could lead to quite a complex and interesting story about like mental health or whatever. There could still very much be a comedy, but not the style of comedy that Kids in the Hall are doing, where it's all men dressed as ladies. Yeah. And kissing each other, and isn't that funny? And now this dad is gay. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
Because I love that idea as like a comedy concept.
Yeah, the concept is fun.
Made me think of something like in a weird way, The Invention of Lying. Remember that movie?
I do remember that. It's
a comedy.
It's not a bad movie.
But
it's
there's so many emotional things that would happen from that invention and its sort of society disrupting effects. You need a story like this to just be able to, you need your feet to touch ground a couple of times, but we are just
But you can't do that
flying
if
high.
5 characters play 30 characters.
5 guys play 18 men and 12 women. And the whole it's just very sketchy.
It's a little too sketchy.
Yeah.
Not sketchy as in we don't trust you, but sketchy as in sketch comedy.
It's sketch-esque.
Sketchish.
Yeah.
Sketchy.
So I think that's where this maybe goes awry. But apart from that, great idea that they've got. They've basically invented. They've invented Soma, I guess. We're just doing a Brave New World. They're like, what if we do a Brave New World, but it's Monty Python? And they're like, that's a great idea. But that's what we see Brendan at minute 17. And he's all upset because he's got like a rash all over his face. He's one of the test subjects that they're testing one of the medications out on.
Also, at the point he realizes that they've been there for a while, he's in the placebo group.
Yeah.
He's just been given sugar.
He's put two and two together. Yeah, and he's just gaining weight. And I think he brings a great amount of intensity and range to a very small role.
I agree.
Well done, Brendan. That's the end of that.
That is the end of that. He comes back in later.
He does.
For a split
He
second.
runs across screen later on. So different
with a hamster cage in his arms.
Yeah, when the lab
away
falls
from
to bits.
one of the gay orgies.
That's
what that is, yeah. Because early on in the movie, the police turn up at that
bathroom.
At that bathroom, and then 40 dudes run out of it.
Yeah, like a clown car.
Followed by naked gay dad.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, they were having some good times in there. Good for them. And then later on, 40 dudes run out of the lab, including Brendan and a hamster thing. And then that's gay dad. And he goes, it's all yours, boys. They were having a good time.
No, that's just all the test subjects finally breaking out of the lab.
Then why is gay dad in there? And why does he go, it's all yours, boys?
I didn't know why gay dad was in there.
Because he was having good times.
This is Wally Terzinski, if anyone's wondering, played by the wonderful Scott Thompson,
wonderful,
who plays a gay dad in this, and that's and that's not us being dismissive of the character. That's really the entirety of his arc, is that he's a hilariously badly closeted gay man whose wife and children desperately want him to stop being in denial. Yeah. But he just, which isn't a bad, I guess it probably is. It's quite a dated comedic
Where's
idea.
your dad? He's upstairs watching gay porn.
There's ways you could do it now that wouldn't be. It's not explicitly homophobic, I think, the way they do it in this. The 40 men running out of the bathroom in a practice that I believe is referred to as cottaging.
It's called a soup kitchen.
That's probably a little bit much, but I mean, overall, everyone's just really wanting him to be honest and open about himself and is only supportive of him, and he gets a little parade.
He does get a parade.
When he finally realizes he's
gay. A coming out parade.
Yeah, he starts singing I'm gay, and all the family and all the neighborhood join in as a sort of marching band around him and carry him on their shoulders in celebration.
I was hoping that song would have lyrics, not just I'm gay, he's gay. And that's what they say for the entire song. There's no lyrics, there's no song.
I think it is a bit funnier that is the whole song.
I'm going to say that's number, though.
I'm going to say that's an intentional comedic choice.
I'm going to say they just didn't want to write a song.
I think it's funnier if the whole song is just I'm gay.
He's gay. And everybody marches.
Yeah.
Down the street that all has the same red car.
So good for him. But interestingly, I realized, he makes that realization because he takes Gleemonex, which is the ultimate name of this super antidepressant that Dr. Cooper has created and that is changing the face of the planet. But no one else has insights like that into themselves as a result of it. They just get happy. For him, he realizes his happiest memory is basically just a conversation he had with his drill sergeant.
That turned him on.
Yeah, and they were like, well, I mean, I'm sure that was nice.
We do get a flashback to another happiest memory from him, though.
Oh, right.
During one of his things, we see the flashback back to that same conversation of his drill sergeant yelling at him about muscles and how exciting muscles are.
Right.
And then we also get to see them at war, and his drill sergeant yells, you run in and fuck them, and we'll stay back here and masturbate. And then he runs off with his butt showing.
One of the great lines.
That's his happiest memory. You run in and fuck him. We'll stay here and masturbate.
What are we doing, Isaac?
I don't know.
What are we doing here? It's times like this.
You learn to live again.
That I wonder just what the fuck we're doing. Anyway, so that's that storyline. But yeah, no one else.
No one else changes.
That's just me.
Maybe the band guy, but the band guy just goes from being purposely bleak.
He just is happy, and like that's
He just becomes
like
happy
that's a great
and
idea.
writes a happy song.
There's a band called the Suicide Club, and obviously it's kind of hard to still be the Suicide Club when you have nothing but positive affect the entire time, and so all their fans are upset.
I mean, the Suicide Club is a great name for a happy band, though.
Great, yeah,
Like a
true.
great
Actually,
name for a happy band.
yeah, it's just like Michael Cera on a ukulele the whole
Hi
time.
guys, we are the Suicide Club. Love yourselves.
Don't die by suicide. Get it? That's what it's the opposite of anyway. Playing marimbas.
It's a reggae band. No, it's a ska band. Definitely ska.
Yeah, so Cooper agrees, like, yeah, let's do the drug, whatever. Yeah. So yes, there was some other good little jokes here, like the other characters pitching their medication. They're like, it's like Stummies, which is the great name for a medication, by the way.
Stummies.
Yeah.
Make your tum-tum good.
Yeah, that's what Mr.
what
That's what Mr. Roritor has built his empire on. And he's like, it's like Stummies, but it's just a much bigger pill. And they're like, that's okay as long as there's no flipper babies. Brutal. And it's like, okay, there's a couple of flipper babies. Fuck. So yeah, I like that this, it had a bit of guts and oomph to it, at least. And it doesn't all hit the mark, but it's got a bit of a I felt like it had a bit of a spine to its comedy without being like, ooh, we'll say
Canadian
anything.
Stuff. For 90s Canada.
Ooh, you triggered? I mean, this is before all of that.
Yeah.
But it's, it wasn't like we don't care who we offend. It wasn't like trying to do that. It just was a little bit punchy at times. So I liked that.
One thing I did notice, and it's a literal spur of the moment, one of the police characters says, "Pitter patter, let's get at her."
Mm-hmm.
As in, like, let's go on, let's move.
Yep.
That is a thing I've only ever heard in the show Letterkenny, and I love Letterkenny.
Never heard of it.
Letterkenny is a Canadian comedy show that's now, like, it's happening now. They've had about 6 seasons.
Wow.
And it's just some dudes on a farm in Canada talking to each other, and they're just broing out. And it's very fun. It's very funny. And
Wow.
they say that all the time. And I thought that was just a thing that they had for themselves.
That's a thin premise for 6 seasons.
But it's a
Must be a Canadian thing.
Yeah, I think that's so cool.
Pitter patter, let's get
Pitter
out of.
patter,
What an
let's get out of.
absolutely nothing phrase.
I know. Yay, Canada. Thanks,
Yeah.
Canada.
And
Thanks for being there.
and people say white Canada doesn't really have culture. I think we've put that concern to bed. White English speaking, probably.
Can recommend Letterkenny, though.
Okay.
For all
and
of our
the other
listeners,
bit that,
actually.
and I think this is the other bit that I thought was genuinely funny, is when he tells the story of his father's suicide, and they do a sort of Family Guy cutaway.
It also comes out of nowhere, though.
It's so out of nowhere.
Like, they're just out to dinner, and then he just tells the story. Like,
And this is the only like Family Guy cutaway they do the entire movie, really, of just like a flashback.
it's not a happy memory. It's
And
just a memory.
and the dad walks up to the house, all his stuff falls out of his briefcase, stands at the door. That big sigh, then walks in, and you just hear gunfire. And it's oh no, my other foot.
My foot.
And then it cuts back, and he says, 2 hours later, he finally hit a vital organ and died. Genuinely funny. Nothing else that funny happens the entire rest of the movie. 2 hours later, he finally hit a vital organ. Doesn't not even his head, just a vital organ. That's very good. That's very good. So it's not like there's nothing here, and
No, they've got
and like it's very
comedy chops.
colourful, and there's people have got costumes. They've got it's got a real look to
They've
it.
had a budget.
As Emma said, it's got a sort of Austin Powers vibe a lot of the
does,
time. They did have a budget of $8 million.
Produced by Lorne Michaels.
Produced by Lorne Michaels.
Who also,
Who's hard to
think,
shake
produced
off.
all of the Austin Powers movies, actually.
What hasn't that guy produced?
Oppenheimer.
God, he's 78.
Lorne Michaels.
Yep.
He's an old man.
Not surprising, really, is it?
I read, actually,
Didn't he
that
started
the
the SNL?
Roritor character is an impression of Lorne Michaels.
I think there's a lot of characters on TV that are that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So that's all of that. So Gleeman Axe gets out there. They're like their FDA is just the Queen because it's Canada. That was pretty good. And then, I feel like they didn't really know what to do with it after that. Eventually you get to the point where side effects start kicking in, which is people end up frozen in the sort of coma-like state, which is
Reliving
fine.
their happiest memory.
Yeah, but I mean that's sort of a force function on the whole
But
plot.
that also, if it's your plot, that should be at the end of the second act, not the end of the film.
Yeah. It took me a weirdly long time to realize that, Dr. Cooper is the one. Like, he's our protagonist of this story. I wasn't quite...
Because the film doesn't give you that at all.
There's just like a group of them, the group of scientists, and they all seem kind of involved in this situation. They don't really come up with...
You would also
an
think
internal
if Dr. Cooper was your
problem.
protagonist, that actor would play Dr. Cooper, and everybody else would play everybody else. That's how you give your
Yes,
protagonist...
but he plays other people as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he
Which
plays Gay Dad's wife.
Yeah.
Several people.
Yeah.
But
old GDW.
if you have a protagonist and you want your protagonist to be the protagonist,
Yeah, that would be a good move as well, wouldn't it? Yeah.
that's how you do a sketch show and have it all linked together. One guy plays one guy, everybody else does whatever the fuck they want to do.
Yeah.
And have a good time. Have a good time.
Yeah. Or, I mean, call me crazy, just hire some other actors.
Or you could do that too. But then your budget goes to actors, not costumes.
Yeah, and they've paid, costumes and crane shots across Gotham that they were really keen on getting.
It's literally just frame for frame from Batman.
So Dr. Cooper slowly gets richer and more famous and everything's going great for him.
Because that's how drugs work.
Because that's how drugs work, and it is. I mean, we all saw this in Pain Hustlers. But... I mean, absent from all of this, and like it comes in later on a little bit. They do like a 3-month time jump, but like the societal effects of this would be massive if it was like literally a pill and people never felt sad again. That would like weirdly ruin everything, because of Brave New World, etc. Like we don't need to revisit all this. And he does say it at the end, like you can't feel good all the time, but. They just didn't really articulate that in a very meaningful way.
The speech doesn't hit home.
It
Because there hasn't really been his character has not gone through growth.
Yeah.
For his speech to hit home.
No, he basically, he only thinks anything is wrong when everyone slips into a coma.
Yeah.
Up until coma time, he's pretty happy being a billionaire.
The day, he goes, someone says, hey, I think something's wrong. He goes, checks it out. Yep, something's wrong. And then he does the speech straight away. There's no, there's no tossing and turning. There's no turmoil. Yeah. There's no character growth. For him to be like, nah, it'll be fine. Oh, wait, I've done something terrible.
Yeah.
He's not,
Yeah. I mean, you do have Alice, his fellow scientist, bring the frozen hamster to him and but
that's that day. That's that same day.
It is all the same day, isn't it? Yeah. This is after 3 months of just shredding the world to bits with this incredibly significant
or at least shredding Canada to bits.
Yeah.
Because he's rich in Canada.
Yeah. And so this is where we go to a fancy party and we have a very important part of the movie that was subject of the controversy.
Oh, shit.
Because Dr.
Every
Cooper,
good film has a controversy.
Yeah, he is introduced to the Cancer Boy character, who is a boy with cancer.
Cancer
who wears a cap with a C on it.
He's in a chair.
Who originated in the TV show, apparently. And the idea was to be as offensive as possible. And this ends up being so bleak because he's like, I'm not on a Gleeman Axe, but my parents are.
Yeah, there's no hope for me, so my parents are on Gleeman
I'm
Axe.
terminally ill, and then my parents are on Gleeman Axe because they also have to look after my severely disabled brother, essentially. And so people found this to be an exceedingly poor taste, and I was very interested to see it. I mean, speaking as a former cancer boy,
Yep.
I mean, I do have a slightly unusual position from which to judge the cancer boy.
As to whether
character.
or not it is offensive.
As someone who was once
Cancer boy.
a cancer boy, I think it's mostly okay, but I think why it comes off as offensive is because Cancer Boy is played as dumb.
Uh-huh.
The boy himself seems like a bit of an idiot and just like shit. Whereas if you gave that character a little bit more je ne sais quoi, that's not the right one.
Poignancy.
The right, well, no, just a bit of oomph and
Or
a bit of like he knows what's going on.
Sincerity, maybe.
Yeah.
Like,
also,
the joke could still be that, like, there's no hope for me, but my parents are on the drugs, so that's great.
yeah, I think this character originated from, like, it was making fun of people who, like, celebrities and stuff who take advantage of, like, a kid in a wheelchair.
Uh-huh, yep.
But all that sort of fallen away here. Now he's just a...
So we're just supposed to understand that he's come from a place of good comedy.
Yeah, now he's just like a, no pun intended, freewheeling cancer kid. Just at this party apropos of nothing. And so I think that's probably why it plays a little bit differently. Whereas I thought they were going to be more explicitly like trying to get photos with him and stuff and to get social capital as a result of being associated with Cancer Boy.
Yeah, I get you.
Because everyone wants to be around him when you got cancer. Tell you that.
Everyone, huh?
Tell you that for nothing. No one. I was alone. Alone inside.
Got some cool books, though.
I did. Yeah. Got a visit from the old Make-A-Wish.
Nice.
Can't get rid of those guys. They sniff you out. They make the drug non-prescription. Suicide Club is happy now. That's when he has a music video about the happiness pie. And everyone wears like shiny plastic clothes. And everyone's there. The cop's there. Gay dad. Everyone. I don't know. It's just insanity at this point.
Yeah, it's weird.
There's the music awards. Cancer Boy is nominated for a song now.
Yeah, because he took the drug and made a song, which is called...
Did he?
I don't know.
Whatever. Dr. Cooper's there. He's famous. Everyone loves him. He's signing autographs. And I did, like, they were turning up the tension a little bit here where this one guy's like, I'd have killed myself if it wasn't for you. Just like,
He's got 2 scars on his wrist.
yeah. And he's
He
like,
signed my scar.
yeah. See, it's just like too serious for what we're doing.
Jeez, man.
And like, that's obviously where this leads, is that kind of interesting area of a celebrity for saving people from their mental health, but just by a force function of pharmaceuticals, which you're just waiting for the other shoe to drop the whole time. But yeah, it's all just a little bit too silly to really follow through on that. So yeah, it started to become quite a chore at this point. That's when Alice brings in the frozen test mouth, Sigmund. And so yeah, Cooper and Alice are meant to be having a sort of romance story the whole time. But it's just...
Because Cooper's not portrayed as much as he could be as the protagonist, Alice is therefore not portrayed as the love interest enough either.
Yeah.
Yeah. They nearly kiss at the start of the film.
And also Alice is one of the fellas.
Yeah.
Isn't she?
Yes.
Which just sort of...
It ruins,
makes it feel like a bit the whole time,
it
rather than...
It pulls out of the illusion a little bit of one of your science friends is a love interest.
Yeah.
Like that's a good character choice to have a little bit of stuff for these people to have an emotional stake in this team.
I mean, lads,
group.
can you not just put a woman in your film?
At the end of the film, the once he has his big speech,
Heather Graham,
but then they have that the real press conference at the end after all these people have started freezing and they're opening up the comatory where you can just bring your comatose family and you get $10,000 or whatever it is to house them here. The woman in that little tiny ad that they're doing, I recognized her face from somewhere. She was on Whose Line Is It Anyway for like years as one of the 4 people doing improv. And I'm like, that's so cool.
And that's all they got her to do.
That's all they got her to do. This one little bit. I don't know if Whose Line Is It Anyway was happening like at this point in time in Canada, but that's what she does. Like one line in that
What's her
little tiny
name?
scene. Oh, what
Is
her
it Catherine Greenwood?
Catherine Greenwood. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I recognized her face. I'm like, oh my God, that's the first face I've recognized in this entire film. And it's from Canadian television.
Yeah, she stars on Whose Line Is It Anyway in 2000.
There we go.
Good for her, I say.
So people go into stasis, and
People go into stasis. So he goes back to see the lab. That's when you think they're all having an orgy in there. That's when Brendan's holding the mouse cage. The whole lab is trashed. He touches a monkey and flashes back to his happiest memory of playing chess with the monkey.
No, that's not him.
Something?
That's just the monkey's happiest memory is playing chess and winning chess.
Is that us just seeing the? So he's not
That's-
seeing the monkey
yeah,
memory.
that's just
Only we're
us
seeing
seeing
it.
the
Okay,
monkey's
okay,
happiest
whatever,
memory.
fine. Then he goes to visit the original test subject, and she's frozen in place, just like Sigmund the Mouse. Oh my God!
Oh, what? It's a thing.
He goes to see Mr. Roritor, and it's like, we have to go to the media immediately.
And then Roritor's like, I've already got a basement full of 100 of these frozen people. Look at them. Yeah. Look at them.
I like this.
Look at them.
I didn't mind this when he's like, yeah, maybe we should go to the media, but maybe we should just think about it first. Just stands there and thinks for a minute. And it's like, no, we shouldn't. Actually, no, we shouldn't do that. And yeah, walks down to the basement. This looked great. It's a big white, sort of like Kubrick-esque.
Yeah.
It's like Stanley Kubrick does Us.
Yeah, that's what I thought when we went down
Feels
the
a
basement.
lot
I'm
like
this
us.
Is us. This is
Yeah,
us. Wow.
it's just people in all different weird, frozen, creepy poses.
Reliving their happiest memories in a basement.
Yeah, and they're just like locked in like an ever-shortening loop of what it is they used to live through. So yeah, so great like horror elements that would definitely come through in this.
It's a Black Mirror episode.
Yes, absolutely. A Black Mirror comedy could definitely come out of this. But instead of antidepressants, it's phones.
Oh,
What if phones but too much?
That's so Black Mirror.
And and I liked that the CEO again just goes, and when I invented Stummies, he goes, oh fuck Stummies. This is fucked, basically. This whole situation is fucked, and they have a pretty funny fight where he keeps putting his finger in his face.
Don't touch my finger. Stop touching my finger.
Get your finger out of my face. Stop touching my finger. Get your finger out of my face. Stop touching my finger.
And then the finger's broken after that fight.
Yeah, he's got his finger in a big brace just because he touched it. So that's all pretty good. Yeah, I like the comatoriums.
Comatorium is cool.
It just like
the
keeps
fact that it's an
pushing-
immediate thing too, because like the day before he's been like, "Oh, we have to go to the media." Like, no, I have a basement. They'll be fine. Don't do it. And then obviously he's gonna have a like he's gonna be the good guy, and he has his little tiny press conference to nobody,
Yeah.
and it's like, "Come to the real one." And they just introduced the comatorium. Like,
Yeah. And so rather than stop doing the drug, they're just like, no, it's fine. But now you just live out your life
Happy.
in the comatorium, but you're happy. I like thinking through something to that extreme and like getting a few steps down the line of what if this just kept getting crazier. So that was good. But then Cooper has his big monologue where he's like, no, be sad sometimes. Yeah. That's what life is about, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then the CEO says, obviously Dr. Cooper has gone mad from depression. And this was giving me hints of what this could have been. Because, a world where everyone is happy all the time. Now, any hint of dissatisfaction in like a Brave New World kind of way. Also weirdly making me think of like The Lobster, where you build a kind of emotionally totalitarian world where now you are suspect and like definitionally irrational if you are not in alignment with the narrow range of emotions prescribed by this medication. Yeah. Again, I liked that. Yeah, I like the way the CEO is controlling the situation just by saying these things.
Yeah.
And
then the CEO tries to force him to take the drug.
Yeah.
And he grabs the CEO's nuts so that the CEO screams and he spits the drug back in, which is funny.
Great.
That's
great
quite
moment,
funny, yeah.
I think. Yeah, great comedy way to do. Like, it's a comedy moment that has a lot of drama and significant plot consequences. Very good. The big three. And the CEO's happiest memory is drinking that coffee that someone pissed in or something. Look, it's a weird movie, everyone. We're not going to explain that. But then it's kind of a dystopian ending. Like, I didn't understand how Cooper lost ultimately, but basically the drug just continues to take over the world.
Yeah.
And we return to our Super Mario cab driver.
And apparently there are parades where they parade around the happy people who are frozen.
Like the happiness is just keeps like exponentially building on worlds within worlds of insanity and happiness.
And within a basement,
so I kind of liked that.
Under the city, Cooper and his scientists
they lead the resistance of making people depressed again. Like, hell yeah.
And it ends with them having made a drug that repairs 957, who was the first test subject.
Yeah, by making you relive your unhappiest memory.
And her unhappiest memory was giving her grandson some balloons and him flying away.
Yeah, her unhappiest memory is the time she accidentally murdered her grandson. And,
that's a pretty unhappy memory.
You would hope that would top the others.
Imagine if that was a memory you had.
But like, it's not the worst one. No. What's the worst one? It's the time I crashed that school bus into that orphanage.
What's your unhappiest though? I burnt a waffle once.
Yeah.
I was really in the mood.
But it was
waffles.
like, I know it sounds bad, but it was like the third day in a row. And I really that time wanted to get it right, and I was in a rush.
Lessons learned: don't rush when you can't have waffles.
Don't rush a waffle, and 2 balloons max per child.
Per child.
Per child.
Per day.
Cooper and Alice kiss. The taxi driver says the moral of the story is you won't be happy every day. That sounds better in its original Croatian. Credits.
So he's a Croatian taxi driver.
Maybe he's
That's
Croatian.
What he is. There we go. We got to the bottom of it.
I confess, I'm not intimately familiar with the Croatian accent. So
I don't even think Croatians are.
I can't judge it for its accuracy. But I suspect it's pretty wide of the mark. And I mean, whatever, man. That's Brain Candy.
We watched it.
We whipped through that. That was good.
I'm proud.
And again, it's a crisp 90 minutes. So they're not dragging it out. It's not.
See,
I thought it was going to be rubbish.
I thought it was going to be worse than it was.
And it's not rubbish. They make a few structural choices that tilt it away from being what it could be. But it has some good jokes. It has some imagination. They really construct a world, and they do create it, and they do push it to a cool point, I think. Yeah. It's just kind of tacky in a bunch of ways.
Yeah, it feels like you're supposed to be like, I don't enjoy this.
Yeah, and the characters playing all the actors playing all the characters, like, that works in a they're doing it like it's Meaning of Life, but the story is Life of Brian. And Graham Chapman only played Holy Grail, or Life of Brian actually, but Graham Chapman is just the main character.
Yeah. See, you have your protagonist,
and all the others.
You don't have others.
Yeah. If Graham Chapman is also other people.
Yeah, and now for something completely different, it's just sketches.
Yeah.
Having a good time. It's great.
Yeah.
Just sketches.
And there's lots of Python-esque elements to this, I think. But
that's the thing. No one can do Monty Python.
No, to this day, no one's done it.
No. Not even them.
No. They didn't. Yeah, a bunch of times they tried and failed. if we're being honest. If we're being honest with ourselves. And so that's Kids in the Hall, Brain Candy. Now, we don't score Brendan Fraser's movies. We rank them.
Why would you?
We're a ranking podcast. This is the 17th thing going on the Brendan Fraser filmography ranking. It's not the bottom. We're clearing a bunch of these things.
Are we?
Things that I know already know this is better than.
Okay.
Younger and Younger.
Yep.
Dogfight, more like dog shit. Child of Darkness, Child of Light. Professional Man. Yeah. Professional Man is it's like a solid thing, but it's a thin volume.
Yeah.
$20.
I don't know.
I don't know. Then above that is The Scout.
Yeah. See, like I don't like The Scout.
I don't like The Scout either.
I
but that's just because I don't like that main guy.
Yeah.
But he's actually doing a fine job in it.
Yeah.
I think this has to... Well, but then above that is The Passion of Darkly Noon. I think this has to be...
I just... how is that above that? It's fine.
I think Passion of Darkly Noon got so high up because it does have some thematic depth.
Yeah, it does some good. It just has a terrible name.
This has some thematic depth, and it has some laughs.
I think this actually has more laughs than The Scout, so therefore maybe it should be above The Scout.
We could put it above The Scout, couldn't we?
Yeah, because it does have more laughs than The Scout.
The Scout is a big old Brendan Fraser movie.
That is
and this
true.
only has a tiny fragment of phrase.
Yeah. I also think the Brendan Fraser we get in $20 is better than the Brendan Fraser we get in this.
It is.
Because we get more of it and there is a little bit of growth to it. It's rough.
I think it has to be below The Scout.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
But $20 has
I know.
Steve Buscemi and the old one from Back to the Future in it.
Christopher Lloyd.
Doing that little
something I watched
crime
the other day,
movie.
actually.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah.
No, it was a new movie. Oh, I watched Nandor Fodor and the Talking Mongoose.
All right. And you said you hadn't seen any good movies lately.
It's not good. No, it's not bad. It's
So,
Simon
what the
Pegg.
Isaac, can I... And I say this... I'm genuinely...
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Nandor Fodor and the Talking Mongoose is a movie made about...
In Mongolia?
No, he goes to the Isle of Man.
Same
Nandor
difference.
Fodor is a supernatural psychologist or something in the 1920s, played by Simon Pegg, who does a fantastic Christoph Waltz impression for the entire film. And it's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. Yeah, it's a new movie. Came out like last week.
I feel like I'm getting further away from what... Jesus. Yeah, wow, this is a real film.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
I don't know how that came up, but yeah, Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd. Yeah.
He's in $20. He's in fucking $20, bro.
Yeah, but $20 is not as good as this movie. Kids
Yeah.
in the Hall, Brain Candy.
Oh, that's a baby.
And now finally, which of all the Brendans would win in a fight? We don't know much about this
Put this
Brendan.
at the bottom of the list. Put this at the literal bottom of the list.
He's getting beaten by that little drip from Younger and Younger.
He also
This guy's
he actually, well,
this
maybe
guy's out of shape.
he's out of shape, but
He's
he
been-
is aware that he is currently in a situation where he's like, "This is fucked. I
Yeah.
need to get out of here."
So you think so he's sedentary but edgy.
Yeah, he's got an edge.
He's a bit edgy.
He's got an edge.
Yeah, no, he's getting pummeled by a lot of these guys, isn't he? He's getting pummeled by a dogfight with honors. I mean, he's cycling around. He's probably got a bit of fitness.
He's getting beaten. Yeah.
Does with honors get his crutch in the
If
fight?
if he wants it.
He can have the crutches, but then he's got the leg in the cast. The legs out of the cast. But then you do it WWE style and
Or
just
it
like
just breaks
smash
the
your leg
cast.
out of the
Yeah.
cast. Yeah.
Yeah, that fucking rock, man.
$20. Now they're all kind of even. Like he's beating Younger and Younger. He's beating Child of Darkness because that's a child.
Of
But
darkness.
he's kind of lest we forget, famously. But he's kind of equal with $20. Let's put him in there.
Do it. One thing
Kids
I
and
am
all.
nostalgic about for this film in particular
Yeah.
is when we did Daniel, there was some shit films. We watched some
Amen,
horse
brother.
shit fucking crap.
Yeah.
And there were some weird films where we just had to sit through weird shit.
Yeah.
I think this Brendan hasn't really had that phase of forcing us to watch weird shit.
No.
This is quite weird,
Yeah.
but this is not Brendan's fault.
No. And this isn't, Brendan hasn't agreed to be the lead in anything
Yeah.
truly insane. And maybe, I don't know if we are going to get anything.
I hope not.
We're not
I
going to
think
get
that's
anything at
quite
like Hotel Splendide level.
No, this is pleasant.
Yeah.
Brendan's pleasant.
Yeah.
We're not going to watch a movie that makes us feel that we need to shower. And we're not going to watch Risa fans masturbate to some cockroaches.
We're not. I mean, we're going to watch Gay Dad.
We're going to watch Gay Dad, but that
Brendan-
doesn't make me feel dirty.
No. That's just a guy.
It's just a guy being a gay dad.
Figuring himself out.
Exactly. Taking drugs.
There's no cockroaches.
There are no talking cockroaches.
Unlike
and a
that
monkey
Risa
with a
fan
hat.
claymation short film. If you're wondering what we're talking about, we're not going to explain because you're better off not knowing. But it's something we watched for the podcast because, believe it or not, Daniel fucking Craig was in it.
You're safer not having seen it.
We're going to be back to talk about Mrs. Winterbourne. Man, we're getting there. It's Mrs. Winterbourne, then it's Glory Days. I don't know what that is. Then it's The Twilight of the Golds, which I haven't got yet. I think the only access to that Glory Days has Ben Affleck in it, yes. Glory Days is an independent comedy film starring Ben Affleck, Sam Rockwell, Megan Ward, French Stewart, don't know who that is.
Yes, you do.
Do I?
Yeah, he played Inspector Gadget second.
No.
You'll recognize French Stewart.
I don't think I will. And John Rhys Davies, Alyssa Milano, and Spalding Gray.
French Stewart played Inspector Gadget in the movie Inspector Gadget, which was filmed in Brisbane.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, well,
South
I wasn't
Bank.
there.
No, you weren't.
You know who
We didn't
also
live here
appears
at
in
the time.
minor roles in Glory Days? Brendan Fraser, Leah Remini, Matt Damon, Matthew McConaughey.
Jeez.
Don't know what I'm talking about because we're not doing that next week.
Still, it's good to be excited.
Next is Mrs. Winterbourne.
This is Winterbourne.
Big old movie with Brendan on the cover. Then it's Twilight of the Golds, which I've only found as an expensive DVD on eBay, so look into that. But that's a big Brendan Fraser movie as well. Then it's George of the motherfucking Jungle.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Fucking
George, bro.
It's
we
George.
get to watch George, bro.
It's George time. It's GOTJ time. Which takes as long to say because you have to think about it. I think that's that on that. I'm glad we did it. It would have felt incomplete.
I haven't had a terrible afternoon.
No. It really did become quite painful in the second half. There's that 20 minutes.
But talking about
where
it,
you're just waiting.
sort of like, I think alleviates the 20 minutes of
Yeah.
the fact that we've talked about it and we got to laugh.
Yeah. You know that bit of a movie where you're waiting for the ending to start?
Mm-hmm.
Or
This movie has that.
also known as 90 minutes in the second half of Killers of the Flower Moon. Roasted, man.
Take that.
Yeah,
Mum.
that was the only bit that I struggled with here. But it was much shorter because it was normal movie length. So we can watch the movie and then move on with our lives. We will see you all soon. Anything to say before we go?
Not tonight,
Or any night?
but I'm keen for the next one. Also, I'm sending you a link right now to that movie.
The Nandor Flandor
No,
Blings
Twilight of
of
Golds.
Blingos. Oh, is it on YouTube now?
Yep.
Ah, cool. That must be... Actually, why am I doing it on my phone when I've got this giant fucking screen right here?
Great for Nintendo.
Oh, God, this one.
Not really great for Nintendo
It's
64.
not. Nintendo
It'd be great for a
64.
PlayStation if you wanted to get one of those. Good size screen for that.
Yeah, Twilight of the Golds, up on YouTube, put up by Phrase for Days, our old friends.
Nice.
Yeah, look, just got put up 3 months ago, so
Cool,
it wasn't
cool.
up there. I'm going to illegally download this.
No one
Going
will know.
to illegally download this.
No one
Or
will
am
know.
I? Or am I? Da 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 da. Yeah, anyway.
Thanks for coming, y'all.
Thanks for coming. Join us on our next episode for more exceptional theft of your time.